was approximately 4 years ago that I started the bursary. And the reason I started the bursary is not only was I previously had been on the board at Algonquin, so I was very familiar with what they were doing, but in the past I had benefited from bursaries. And the money for the bursaries came from the unfortunate fact that my son had passed away and had bought some insurance. So I did not want to profit from my son's passing. So every dime of that money has been or will be spent, there's still some left, on youth-related, educational-related activities. My college education was essentially covered, more or less, less than more, because of bursaries. So when I got the insurance money for my son, I immediately thought, oh, I bet someone would appreciate this. So what I did then was I wanted to set up bursaries for what was not covered first, because there's all kinds of bursaries for full-time students, but none for part-time. So I set up a whole whack of bursaries for part-time students, because that's what I had been in the past, and I know it's a hard road to hoe. And then I set up 2 matching bursaries, one for Indigenous students, and then I set a few others up, including for those who are part-time, which Algonquin had never had before, bursaries for part-time students. So I was thrilled with that.
Were you also the first bursaries for the online learning?
That came a little later when I was at a thing for the first opening of a center they had that was particular for online students. And when I was there, I was talking to one of the directors, and I said, well, is there anything for online? And they said, no, there's no support because it's mostly part-time. So I said, well, let's set up a new bursary, the first ever. So I set up a lovely letter from a person who just made me cry when I read it, about how she's struggling to raise 3 kids and trying to finish off her final year of completion for a diploma that she was working on, and it was a struggle, and none of the bursaries previously had applied to her, and the fact that she was a part-time student, full-time mom, full-time working somewhere else. So it just really touched my heart. I said, that's exactly the person I was thinking about.
Can you tell me a little bit about why you decided to be so public about the bursary fund and how you were doing that?
The more people hear about it and how important it is like how much it's appreciated, if my story helps get more, then that I think is a very good news.
And the bursary fund exists as its own thing now, right?
Oh yeah,
Audrey
it's perpetual.
Lawrence bursary fund. So I could go and contribute to it. Like, you made an initial contribution, and that now is continuing to kind of produce fruits beyond what you did initially, which is kind of amazing, I think.
Well, thank you.
Did your faith influence your decisions to give in this way?
Well, probably it set a background to the fact that I have more than I need, and my inclination is to give it away in a good way. So I think being a Christian does make you aware of the needs of others, and as well as the joy you get when you're able to give to others.
What do you get out of giving?
Well, on the practical side, I get a tax receipt, which really cuts down on how much tax I have to pay, because I like to make sure my tax goes to where I want it to go. But it also, it's very affirming, and it makes you feel really good. And especially when you hear back, not in every case, but just know it's being really used well and being accessed. So for like the bursaries I set up at Algonquin, if I'm talking to the person who's director of advancement there, and he would say, oh, Audrey, the bursaries are doing well, like people are applying for them, they're all being used, and I go, oh, that's really great, like it's really nice, and that makes me want to then, well, let's set up another one.
Right? It sounds a little bit risky. You start giving and then you can't stop. It's like,
Oh, it's totally addictive. Totally. Because it does make you feel happy. And not just because you feel that the need is important. I mean, that's important, but the fact that you also can give.
so if you were going to give advice to a young person about charitable giving, what would you tell them?
I would say it's better to give a little early and keep on giving than it is to not give at all and wait to the future, because you don't know what the future is going to be. And being able to give a little bit makes you feel good about yourself, feeling good giving it to someone else, because that fills you up with joy, and that joy helps you get over a lot of dark places. So, for example, when my son died, being able to give the money that I got from the insurance company away helped reconcile me to the fact that he was no longer in my life, but he is in my life because I've given these bursaries, so that I know that there's something of him still continuing. I hope that makes sense.
I think it does. I mean, I'm sort of hearing a theme there about how giving, one of the things that giving does is connect us to other people, and it helps take us out of just ourselves, and it expands beyond even death, because it's connecting us in with other people and their needs and their goals and their possibilities.
Yeah, exactly. It's that circle of life continuing. And also God's influence in different parts of our life where we need support and get it. And then we feel good when we get support, and then you're able to give again, and you feel really good. And then if you have a dark moment, the cycle, but later on, you can get through it. So it becomes a little easier the older you get. The giving from God allows us to give to others in a way that helps to increase our joy that we already have from getting the things that we need to build on.